Hi everyone. I just wanted to share my thoughts on what I've understood about Walt Whitman so far, reading his works. Right now, I'm literally at the spot where Fort Greene Church will be. There will be a church here, a very large one. I've been brainstorming the ideas with the Lord, and I don't want to spend too much time because this stuff gets forever to upload. I would love to just rant and rave and tell people how much I wish that there would be a part of the great things that are going to last forever, that we can build on. It's very sad to see so many people in apostasy, and I really pray people want to come back. So I recently finished Song to Myself, or Song of Myself, and many of you might be aware that in this physical existence we live in a matrix. The movie The Matrix is somewhat real, so we live in a matrix. And when we read poems like Song to Myself by Walt Whitman, like, what I got out of it is just like a matrix of God's thoughts, of like specific events of people's lives, like things that are not normal in the natural. I mean, when you read Song of Myself, there are parts, it's just literally like a matrix diving into the depths of God's thoughts. And as King David wrote, Lord, your thoughts are very deep. And I think this is why God chose Walt Whitman for Fort Greene Park, for this pillar of Zion. Because Walt Whitman's writings, really reflect and give us the deep thoughts of God. And Walt Whitman even wrote of himself a lot. Like, we have prophecies about his writings that, he will graft people into a new religion, and but in the latter time it'll be received into a new language, that we won't need him anymore. It's just incredible reading his writings. And so I just wanted to share that, like, reading, I think, here at Fort Greene, it's going to be an epicenter for people to be creative. It's going to be like a religious public college campus. Okay? We're going to have a huge church here. This church has to be huge. It's going to feed the poor. It's going to teach people. It's going to inspire people to go off and make their own vine branches and convert the world. How do I know that? Because Walt Whitman wrote about that. We're just reading we just want to emulate the truth here. Bring forth God's kingdom. There will be theaters here. People are going to put on plays. People are going to make new music. People are going to and just have their ideas, kind of like Union Square or Washington Square Park is in the city, but it's going to be in the truth. It's very profound. And so I think those deep thoughts that we can just feast on, that Walt Whitman gives us, those deep thoughts of God, that endless revelation, I mean, stuff we can't even perceive yet. I think that's why Walt Whitman is a staple here. Why God planted Walt Whitman as a pillar to everyone's growth and knowledge and the truth. So, if you can imagine that reflection, it's really beautiful. So I guess I'll leave it at that, because we're going on 5 minutes, and this will probably take like 24 hours to upload or something. Unfortunately, God is coming, passing judgment. We have to fight our enemy. I'd rather be thinking about good things. I'd rather be thinking about beauty and building things and helping people and bringing forth the truth and all the exciting things that the kingdom has. It's so exciting and beautiful and wonderful, and all everyone wants to do is rape and pillage and murder, and we have to go to war. God's going to fight for us. We have to slay our enemy. We have to. There's no other way. We have to. So You know, this is what the Lord is showing me. You know, I'm literally praying for their affliction. We have to. The prison ship martyrs did the same thing. They prayed for the affliction of their enemies to be delivered. You have to. So I just wanted to share that about Walt Whitman. You know, people read this stuff and really, in order to understand his doctrine that he represents, you have to be a little well versed in the Nag Hammadi scriptures. But what Walt Whitman brings to the table goes beyond the Nag Hammadi scriptures. I think Walt Whitman's theology and revelations that he brings forth are the hardest and, you know, the most revelatory we have so far, or at least that we found, because we have a whole world to harvest. So, all right, that's my video. This whole thing is going to be a church. Okay, this whole thing is going to be a church. The entrance is already well fortified, but it's going to be a high wall. And the church is going to be big. It's going to be very tall. It's going to be a spire. Behind me is the building that God told me has to stay because of, well, we have the rainbow prophecy that everyone has witnessed on this channel that's going to be presented and taught. We're going to have a lookout post where people can see where that rainbow was, and we're going to teach it because that's our future. And this building, you know, this is the back of the building where it's just a rec room. This is the only rec room Fort Greene has to get any shelter. Where Messiah saw the defeat of Lucifer. This is going to be meant for food kitchens, giving to the poor, meant for giving. It's going to be kind of like maybe a cathedral hall or something, I don't know, a theater or something like that on the side of the church. But the Lord told me that building has to stay, or the front of that building has to stay. So I think what better thing, a building that represents the prophecy of God's people defeating Lucifer, would be a place that gives to the poor and a place of charity, because that is how we defeat the devil, is through charity. So that's what I got. This video will probably take a very long time to upload, or if not, whatever, these games will end. All right, God bless you. I really pray people give their hearts to Christ, and you know, he doesn't turn anyone away that's repentant. It's time to repent. I'm sorry. God bless you.